What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, the level of violence that's seen out here, that's just out and blatantly out in the open, is unrivaled nowadays. This story happened in Detroit, Michigan a few days ago, and I'm surprised I didn't see this. Somebody probably sent this to me, but anyway, I'm doing it now. It's about these people you see up here. Now, there's another person up here that's not shown, but it's supposed to be 6 people that have been locked up for extortion and kidnapping charges after a 16-year-old girl in Detroit was kidnapped or abducted from a McDonald's, beaten, and subsequently tortured, basically, over a missing amount of money. They're saying it's $20,000. Now, I want you to see this video, this series of videos I'm going to show you. And this is just the tip of the iceberg from what was said at their court arraignments, which I'll show you in a second as well. Because the men had their own arraignment and the females had their own arraignment in these pictures up here. I'm telling you right now, these violent criminals that are out here, there's no fixing that. There are people that's just out here with reckless abandon out here in the street, just doing some of the most terroristic stuff that we go and fight other countries for, claiming that we're defending them against their people, but us over here, the ones that do the defending, are not defended. What kind of country are we where unjust crimes don't receive justified punishments? I want you to think about that for a second. The justice system is trash. It is. And it coddles criminals. Now, I'm going to show you these videos, right? The 2 videos I found. And keep in mind, if you don't watch all these videos, because I'm going to show you the arraignment of who did what, both for the women and for the men. And it's absolutely disgusting. When you look at these videos, look how, you know what, I'm done talking about it. Just look, something need to be done. You know, the rules need to be in black and white out here as far as what a crime is, and so should the punishments. And it shouldn't be all this dilly-dallying and all this other stuff in the court system. If you did this, the effect of the cause is this. Plain and simple. Shouldn't be that complicated. Look.
Tonight on The Edge, a teen held at gunpoint and kidnapped in Detroit.
And those terrifying moments were caught on security video. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack is live now with a closer look at how this all unfolded. Jessica.
Yeah, what a scary situation for that teen girl who was rescued shortly after she was taken against her will. We are told that she did suffer some minor injuries, but is expected to be okay. Now, Detroit police at this hour trying to piece together what all happened here, but we are told by people close to this situation it was over some money owed to the gunman and their associates.
Welcome. We're glad you came by. We'll be there in a moment.
Rushing a porch, ripping off the Ring doorbell. The suspect with a long gun in one hand and a teen victim by the collar in the other. The girl taken against her will from an unknown location in Detroit Tuesday night, brought to a home off Livernois near 96. We're told the victim knows people here.
Let me see, move your hand from my camera.
Then she was kidnapped for a short time, kept here off Abilene Street in Detroit. The whole ordeal allegedly over a missing $20,000 owed to the gunman.
Where that money at, you brother?
When Detroit police moved in to rescue her, there was a brief standoff. The teen was injured but is expected to be okay. Several people connected to this arrested, but no charges yet. Now, the woman who lives at the home with that Ring doorbell footage that we showed you, she was home at the time and there were several kids in the home. They were completely rattled but happy that this was solved rather quickly. Now, as far as Detroit police goes and their investigation, no charges yet. We'll keep tabs on it. Reporting live on Detroit's west side, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
When you look at that video, I mean, you can imagine just how frightened that teenager was. Do we know, though, her connection to this deal?
Yeah, it's alleged that maybe she owed some money or she knew somebody that was owed money. In some of the Ring doorbell footage, it was a little garbled, but they were threatening, that gunman was threatening to hurt her if that debt wasn't paid. But as far as all the dots here, hasn't been connected quite yet.
Yeah, and it does seem like it's quite involved. All right, thanks though, Jessica, for unpacking at least that much.
6 people are accused of the kidnapping and beating of a teenage girl. 5 of them were arraigned today.
Yeah, this is absolutely difficult to talk about even. The heinous crime happened earlier this week outside of McDonald's on the west side of Detroit. 2 men and 3 women have been charged with extortion, assault, unlawful imprisonment, and some other crimes. They're accused of kidnapping this 16-year-old girl from a McDonald's and then taking her to a house, demanding information about $20,000 that apparently was missing. Now, they thought she knew where it was. Police tell us when the group didn't get the answers that they wanted, they beat her brutally. This eventually led to the suspects barricading themselves, and eventually police rescued the girl and arrested the people now in custody. Today in court, prosecutors argue that each suspect should get the same bond.
They're equally situated in a joint enterprise. This is, they all go to the McDonald's. They're all together while Chandler has the gun. They're all assaulting Clayton. They all then take her to a location. They all then assault her on video. They all then go to the Apple-Line address, introduce them to the males, and then the IR talks about them all assaulting. Police locate.
And the judge gave all of the suspects bond. If they post it, they'll have to wear tethers.
Welcome. We're glad you came by. We'll be there in a moment.
Bellair Charles Mason.
Okay. All right, then the court will call case number 250-596-8304, the people of the state of Michigan versus Jamar Rashard Brown. Court will also call case number 250-596-8305, people of the state of Michigan versus, is it Jordan Dale Charles Mason? Okay. All right, then appearances, please.
Mr. Paul appearing on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, Miguel Rico appearing on both Mr. Brown and Mr. Mason. Judge, both my clients have been advised of their constitutional rights. They both waive the formal reading the complaint. Both stand due to be charged with requesting a not guilty plea against on their behalf.
All right, then the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Brown and Mr. Mason. Ms. Coyle, you want to do them separately, or how do you want to handle these bonds?
I can make one argument and discuss their criminal history separately. But yes, I'm going to be asking for the same bond as to these defendants. I'm asking for a $750,000 cash surety bond. They're able to make that bond to have their house arrest. No contact with the complainant. The complainant in this matter is a 16-year-old minor, young female. As the court has read through, this is a very in-depth IR in which there are several allegations against individual defendants 1 through 6. Now, they're all charged with the extortion and the unlawful imprisonment. Mr. Mason here, I'll start with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown first, he's on probation right now for felon in possession. He has also a 2023 felony firearm. I do note 2 separate convictions for 2016 for CCW cases and a delivery case, and a 2023 resisting and obstructing. For Mr. Mason, he's also on probation, it appears, for a 2024 felonious assault, and he currently was sentenced in January of this year for a domestic violence. So both have guns and assaults in their backgrounds. This case began with the allegation of monies being stolen, that the defendant believed that the complainant stole some money. She was, and this is more toward the beginning as to the females. The 16-year-old is abducted at gunpoint at the McDonald's. She is taken to a location, and I don't recall what street offhand, but she's taken, she's dragged from the car to the front door. One of the ladies had a rifle. They had her taken by the young girl by her shirt. They bring her up to the door. They're looking for a woman's name, Kamaya. The witness there says she's no longer lives there. I put her out. And one of the defendants has stated that we need Kamaya and our $20,000. The witness saw these defendants assault the complainant before putting her back in the car. There's also video footage of that was given later to the police. The police also, to get to the point where they're at as well, they track the vehicles that are used in this, and they locate the cars, in which has Ms. Watson as the driver and two male passengers. Ms. Watson's arrested with a Glock on her. They go to a location in which on Apple where all the defendants allegedly assault the complainant. She was repeatedly beaten with guns, and she says that Mr. Brown assaulted her with a pole, causing her braces in her mouth to break. She blacked out. Officers are outside. They declared a barricaded gunman situation. At some point, women, they tell the complainant to not say anything or they would kill her mother and her sister. They made her wipe blood off of herself. When the police eventually go in, they find a jacket covered in blood. The complainant was taken to the hospital with injuries. They execute a search warrant at the location. There's firearms and ammunition that's recovered. At this point, Your Honor, this is an aiding and abetting all six of them, each other, in the abductions and assault of this young girl, over the allegations that she may have stole some money. Based on this, not only have they shown to be, by the allegations, a danger to the complainant in this matter, and I won't mention her name because she is a minor, but also to the community, and they do have assaultive backgrounds, and for these reasons, Your Honor, the people are asking for that $750,000 cash surety with a tether house arrest, if able to make that, with all the other conditions of no weapons, no contact, and so forth. Thank you.
The other ladies back.
You are still supposed to be in here? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna handle all three matters together. She just had tickets. I think that's the only one with tickets. Let me see. Yes. Okay. Put this to the side. All right, ladies, I do need you to all state your names. Let me see if I can do this in order. 3, 2, and 6. Oh, defendant number 1 is not going. So I need Ms. Watson and then Ms. Chandler and then Porterfield. State your names.
Darnisha Watson, Talia Chandler, Carmen Porterfield.
All right. Okay, the court is calling case number 25059-68303, the people of the state of Michigan versus Darnisha Delenn Watson. Ticket number, case number 25059-68302. Oh, I did that backwards. People of the state of Michigan versus Tanea Marie Chandler, and case number 25059-68306. The people of the state of Michigan versus Armani Ayana Tajai Porterfield. All right, then, can we have appearances, please?
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Neighborhood Defender Service by Ashley Munger, P87788, on behalf of Tanea Chandler.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Miguel Rico on behalf of Ms. Watson and Ms. Porterfield, respectively. Judge, my clients have both been advised of their constitutional rights. They both waived the formal reading complaint stand mute.
Okay, and then how does your client stand, Ms.
Ms. Chandler waives the formal reading of the charges, stands mute as to them, and asks the court to enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, then, thank you. The court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Watson, Porterfield, and Chandler. So, Ms. Coyle, how do you want to handle the bonds on these matters?
I'm gonna do one bond recommendation for all three and reasons why. Just as I did with the males. As to I see Ms. Davis is not here, but Ms. Chandler, I don't see an adult criminal history. All I see is a 2020 refusal to obey a traffic order taken under HIDTA status. As Ms. Watson, a 2023 CCW taken also under HIDTA status. This case began because the allegations are that Ms. Davis is the mother of Ms. Chandler, believed that the complainant, who is a 16-year-old minor, stole money from her. And the allegations are that the minor was coming from McDonald's. She was dragged into a car. The defendant had a rifle in her hand. She was grabbed by the shirt, taken to a location, and women brought the minor up to the door, to the witness, asking, where is Kamaya? And the witness told them she no longer lives here. I put her things out a week ago. So that witness says, they told the witness, we need Kamaya and our $20,000. That witness sees the defendants with, she saw Chandler and Watson and Davis assaulting the complainant before putting her back in the car. Then we have the sister of the witness gave video footage to the police. The police then look at them. The Ms. Chandler appears to have a rifle style gun in her hand. She appears to take the Ring camera off the mount to conceal her ID. She has a mask on at the time. Officers could see both the Jeep and the Chrysler 300. They do some tracking. They find that tracks back to an address on Woodside. The sister is there of the complainant, and she got a call from one of the defendants in which it says harm GF. The police locate the cars later, and Ms. Watson is the driver of that vehicle. There were 2 male passengers with that Ms. Watson. Ms. Watson was arrested. She had a .45 Glock on her.
I have my CPO, by the way. I've been here, my CPO.
Ms. Watson,
Ms. Watson, please don't speak under arraignment. This is your defense attorney. I just don't want to say something that can be used against you. It's okay. Let us all finish. You may have opportunity to address your bond, court dates, and conditions, but don't speak about your case with anybody, please.
Got you.
Officers could track the cars back to an Apple-line address where all the defendants allegedly assaulted the 16-year-old. She states that she was repeatedly beaten with guns. She was beaten with a pole by Mr. Brown, which caused, to such an intensity, it caused her braces to break in her teeth. She blacked out. When she woke up, the officers were outside. It was declared a barricaded gunman situation type of thing. The defendants had told her if she would say anything when the police came to the door, they would kill her mom and her sister. They also allegedly made her wipe blood off of herself, and that blood was on a jacket that was later recovered by the police in that basement, which was covered with blood. The complainant was then taken to a hospital. She had injuries to her body. The police executed a search warrant at the location. There were firearms, ammunition recovered along with that jacket, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people believe that this is an aiding and abetting situation in which the complainant, who is a minor, was abducted at gunpoint. The gun was pointed toward her stomach. She was taken to several locations and assaulted. These are all adults, and based on the allegations, Your Honor, people believe that all the defendants working in concert and working alone pose a danger to this complainant as well as to the community. And for those reasons, I am asking for a $750,000 cash surety bond, as well as a tether house arrest if they were able to make bond. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rico. Well,
Your Honor, I'll allow Ms. Munger
I
to
was
make
gonna
her
say, Ms. Munger, you want to go first as it relates to Ms. Chandler?
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. So as to Miss Chandler, understanding that these are serious charges, although at this point they are nothing more than allegations, and Ms. Chandler does deny the allegations as laid out by the people. But the defense does understand that the charges themselves are serious charges. We would, however, ask for a more moderate cash bond with a 10% provision for a few reasons. In regards to the bond factors, particularly in regards to danger to the community, Miss Chandler has no assaultive history or convictions on her record. She is employed. She has her CDL, not to be confused with her CPL, which she also has, but she has her CDL, and she is employed as a truck driver driving local routes. She also has stable housing and an extended network of family support. And as to flight risk, Your Honor, Ms. Chandler doesn't object to a tether at this time, but she has no reason to leave Wayne County. Her entire family, both her mom's side and her dad's side, is in Wayne County. Understanding that her mom's side of the family is involved in the case, Ms. Chandler would go and stay with her dad's side of the family. Again, she also has a job, and she's a young mother of an infant child. So for these reasons, Ms. Chandler has every reason to stay in Wayne County and to attend all future court dates. And so for those reasons, Ms. Chandler would request a more moderate bond with the 10% provision.
All right, then. Thank you. I'll address all of them together. Mr. Rico, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Judge, first on behalf of Ms. Watson, Judge, I'm going to be asking for an amount much less than proposed by the people. I believe that this court can still fulfill their obligations of flight risk endangered community while also still doing it through the least restrictive means possible. The amount proposed by the people, Judge, would operate as a remand on this matter. Neither of my clients would be able to afford that. They would operate as pretrial detention indefinitely. Judge, Ms. Watson is a lifelong resident of this state. She's only 26 years old. Other than traffic, she indicates no prior criminal history to my office. She does work DoorDash. She does have certain medical issues, which are relevant under the court rule, and that is being seizures, Judge. I am asking Judge to consider an amount much less than the proposed. On a dangerousness argument, I believe that there are other conditions that this court can fashion rather than an excessive amount of bond of $750,000 cash. Now, Judge, on behalf of Ms. Porterfield, likewise, my client's lived in Michigan her entire life. She has no priors, as she indicates, to my office. And to be frank with you, Judge, after reading this incident report through and through, I'm not exactly sure why Ms. Porterfield is even involved on this matter. Much like one of the other co-defendants on the male side that I suggested, it seems that everybody here was charged with the same thing to see what sticks at exam. And it's not the right way to do it, Judge. And to ask for the same bond amount to everybody involved in this case when they're not all similarly situated based on the incident report is also not right. Likewise, I'm asking for her to receive an amount much less than what the people have proposed. I have no objection to either my clients being on monitoring or on tether, Judge, in lieu of a high amount of cash bond. Again, I do believe this court has a different avenue, a less restrictive means of ensuring safety to the public, which does not involve an amount that high, Judge. Thank you for listening to my argument.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Cole, I do have a question. It's my understanding based on the report that Ms. Chandler is found with a rifle style weapon. Ms. Watson, other than was identified as all defendants, is she listed, identified specifically related to any particular action?
You want me to go back and find where she's related to all these actions? My understanding, she was also in the car with them as they were, let me see. I gotta go find you're asking me to go back in.
Ladies, everybody at the DDC should not be talking about their case. That's the number one thing you shouldn't do when the prosecutor's on the street.
Yeah, she's there. They're in the car. She's one of the abductors. Okay. Before the complaint was put back in the car, the witness observed the following, who was later identified as Tanyana Chandler. Darnisha Watson, described as wearing a pink hoodie, and Tiara Davis, the mother, described as wearing a red hoodie, physically assault the complainant before putting her back in the red Jeep. The witness also observed another vehicle, blah, blah, blah. So, the reason is when you look at this, it would, to me, it's nonsensical to give a different bond amount for each defendant based on the fact they're equally situated in a joint enterprise. This is, they all go to the McDonald's. They're all together. Well, Ms. Chandler has the gun. They're all assaulting Mrs. Clayton. They all then take her to a location. They all then assault her on video. They all then go to the Apple-Line address, introduce them to the males, and then the IR talks about them all assaulting. They're charged as aiding and abetting each other. And actually the women here set the plan in motion by picking this minor up from a McDonald's and then putting her in a car and holding her at gunpoint. They point the gun at her stomach. So to say that Ms. Watson does nothing, she's in for a penny, in for a pound. That's ridiculous to say that she's just merely present. So that's not a very good argument to make in that situation. They're all three right there against one. They bring her up to the door and say, basically, if you aren't going to give up the money, we're going to kill her and her sister and her mom. So that's what this is all about. Ms. Davis is the mom who's looking, and these two young women are also involved in it just as hard as the mom. So for me, I believe that all of them are equally culpable because they all together make it happen.